Hi, I'm your host Braxton. Hope you guys have all been well. Today we're going to go over some of my CDs and vinyls from my time in the Indiana metal scene. Just everything that I've kind of picked up along the way from bands that I thoroughly enjoy. I try to keep a lot of the stuff positive on my channel, as I never would want to bash someone's art or somebody's creativity if I just didn't think that it was quality. And I'm proud to say that everything that I will ever touch on this channel is all stuff that I thoroughly enjoy, can recommend to others, and just want to share with you guys. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So I'm recognizing a pattern looking through my collection that a lot of the stuff from Indiana that I own is a lot of stuff from Wise Blood Records. And so far, my favorite releases of theirs are these two split albums. I really like these a whole lot because I'm a big thrash guy. That's probably my top genre, is like subgenre of metal, and I specifically like thrash when it has a lot of punk elements, a lot of the speed elements, hell, even a lot of like black metal elements, when those kind of cross-pollinate or merge. And this has like everything I'm looking for. I only have the second and third ones. I hope to grab the first one whenever I have some spare money. And and I do know from talking with Sean lately that they are not done here. They are not done at the third one. There will be more. And on the second one, it's got an absolute stack lineup. Vicious Blade, Blasted Heath, Gauntlet, and Bastard Cross. Some of these bands being from outside of the Indiana sphere. But specifically Blasted Heath was one of my very first metal shows. And they're from Indiana. And they're really, really killer. They have like a sci-fi aesthetic that I really, really like. And they take things a little bit more slower when it comes to their interpretation of thrash, but all of the bands on this split are just amazing. Vicious Blade especially. It's a good mix of like the in-between point of thrash metal and traditional heavy metal of the 70s and 80s. Definitely give these a listen to, especially the third one as well. Has Bloodletter, Ninth Realm, Acid Mask, and Grozov on it. I really like Bloodletter. It's not going to be the last time you hear them in this episode. And I like their melodicism. I think that a lot of the bands on the third one have a really good tech thrash or mellow thrash sound that I really, really enjoy. And not to even mention the art on all of these releases. You can go check out the first one as well. And, you know, whenever the next one releases, I guarantee it's going to have some pretty good art. Just seeing all of the guys on it and the CD itself having the print, Wise Blood Records always just knocks it out of the park with releases like this. And I would love to see more split album concepts, just like this one. In our interview with Sean Frazier from Wise Blood Records, he joked that somebody recommended to him a Slower Than the Gods split series, where it's a bunch of doom metal. And as much as I understand the logistical problem of every doom metal song being 10 minutes plus, and that being hard to put into a split, that just sounds so cool, and I really love to see more Wise Blood Records split releases, especially series releases. These things are just so kick-ass. I got a bit of an interesting one next for you guys. It's Dipped, a hardcore punk band from Fort Wayne. And this one's interesting because if you look at the back here, all of these are track listings, and it goes up to 47. It's their whole discography burnt onto one CD from 2016 and 2020. All of the music spanning that time. And this is a very much so bang for your buck like CD. These guys kick ass, they're great, and they were kind enough to sign this for me as well as some of the other bands you'll see in this episode. I always try to get signatures just because it's a piece of Indiana music history, and I like to preserve that in my own collection. And returning to this episode, Bloodletter. This is their Malignancy release. It's like a 7-track album or EP, and it's got all the guys on it. I just love this kind of contrast effect, and seeing them live was great. I've seen them live with Salivus opening, which is another band that I'm going to get into later this episode, and Pete going into the crowd and just playing the solo to one of their tracks was just so kick-ass, so badass. I just fucking loved it. And they were also kind enough to sign the CD. They have a very good, like, melodic thrash sound that I don't find in a lot of other bands. But if I had to, like, smudge two bands together in order to create Bloodletter's Malignancy, it would have to be Venom and Nuclear Assault. And those are two wildly different bands, and you won't know what I'm talking about until you listen to this album. The next one here I have for you is Mother of Graves, which is a band that I absolutely love, and they're also here from Indiana. They're a death doom band, like crossover, and they're friends of the show as we've interviewed them for our first episode. Again, this is another example of just album art being awesome. And I do love when the album art's on the CD itself. Here are all the guys and the album, and the track listing is on the back. And just seeing the cool graveyard aesthetic, it just fits their band so well. And I've never seen a metal band where a keyboard could be so heavy. Again, this is a death doom band, and their vocalist plays a keyboard while performing, and it just sounds so fucking cool. I cannot recommend this enough. I got another really cool one for you here, kind of similar to the Dipped one, but without 47 tracks. This is The Sounds of Indiana, and this is a compilation album and a collaboration album of just a bunch of metal bands from here and a bunch of punk bands from Indiana, and it's got Milquetoast, Thlurm, Vile Iniquity. I actually bought this off of Vile Iniquity when I went to see the Heavy Hell at Black Circle. I try to go every year since the fourth one, I want to say, or the third one. And the fest just kick ass. Vile Iniquity was the first band to play, and they just knocked it out of the park. And thank you to the vocalist who signed this copy for me as well from Vile Iniquity. I will put as much full releases as I can in the description so you guys can listen to them as well. But this just has so many bands and so many artists that I'm just going to hold it right here for you guys, and I'll probably put a better picture over it just so you can see the track listings and go out and try and find the tracks yourself and just give them a listen to if any of the titles or any of the artist names really just pique your interest. As I mentioned before when I was going over the Sounds of Indiana compilation album, Thlurm is a band from Terre Haute. And it's a two-piece now, but this is their first release with Wise Blood Records when they had the guitarist Andrew in the band, who left for reasons I will not speak of in this episode. But Birdman and Sipes, which is their bassist and their drummer, do a really good job operating without. But it did require a genre shift, so this first release is very more black metal-y than the harsh noise punk that they come out with, today with their album. I believe it was called Botched Sacrifice. I'll put an image of that right here because the album art's also really fucking cool for that release. And I just think they have some of the coolest like DIY aesthetic. Seeing them live was really, really awesome, and just super killer. They do a lot of genre bending, a lot of genre mixing. I believe I seen a Spotify description, or it might have been a Bandcamp description, where they called this a dungeon crust punk black metal band. And I can't nearly describe how accurate that is without forcing you guys to go listen to it. Definitely check this band out. I would love to have them on the show someday, so if Sipes or Birdman are watching, I will absolutely take an interview up with you guys. Necessary Death is a grindcore project. Well, maybe not so much grindcore as it would be like death metal, or even to an extent like a slam or hardcore band. They do take a lot of inspiration from a lot of these subgenres, and it's still not opened. Because I listened to their stuff on Spotify. I thought it was kick-ass. They were giving these out for free at the very same Heavy Hell that I got that Sounds of Indiana one from. And the music is just so good for them to give it out for free. I would have easily paid a good $10-15 for this CD if they were offering. But yeah, thank you guys so much for the free copy. I'm definitely going to get this a spin once I can get my CD player working again. I believe I mentioned this band before in the Bloodletter releases, but this is Salivus. This is their 7-song EP, Blistering. I really like the album art of the guy like burning his hand because it's like melt your face off metal. It's just so fun. They got a lot of like Kill 'Em All inspiration, I feel. When I listen to it, that's all that kind of comes to my mind, and I really like that. I love the early demo sounding stuff that comes out of the thrash world, it's stuff that I really wish I seen more out of big bands like Exodus and Metallica, and I really hope Salivus continues with this sound because it just can't be beaten, and it's new thrash that doesn't sound like the whole bringing back thrash metal movement that's going on social media now. It's very authentic, it's very real, it's very raw, very DIY as well. So if you guys like them, I would heavily recommend checking them out live. They come from Monticello, Indiana, so that you guys can probably check out a show there or somewhere close. These guys just kick ass, a bunch of young dudes, and they ruled the first time I seen them in concert. I got another two-parter here for you. I'm going to kind of lump them in together because they both have Corey Park's hands on them from Graveripper. Who we also interviewed, I believe that was our third or fourth episode, which thank you guys so much for letting me interview you, and thank you so much for signing the release that I got right behind me that I'm going to be showing you guys in a second. But the first release I got here is Corey Park's solo project, Restless Dreams, which is a reimagined cover album of Silent Hill 2's soundtrack, which is just super clever, and I really like how Corey takes a lot of his experience as a gamer and his love for gaming and puts them into these two releases I'm about to show you. And I originally bought this for my girlfriend who was just huge into Silent Hill 2. And the case is just probably the most unique out of all of these, it being like a mock like PlayStation cover, and it's even got like the Wise Blood Records like name in the corner instead of the PlayStation, and if you look at the PlayStation logo, it says RD instead of PS for Restless Dreams. And on the inside, it gets like even cooler. It's got like a maturity rating. It's got the track listing. It says DVD on it. Like it's so nostalgic of like PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4, and just I grew up with those consoles, and just seeing something like this is just so awesome to me. And a little cool fact that I didn't know because I'm not super familiar with the Silent Hill 2 games is that this is a Corey recreating a picture from the actual games, which just how cool is that? Like my girlfriend spotted that out, and apparently this is something that's like in the games, and I just like the attention to detail. It shows me that like it's someone who cares about the source material, and me listening to the originals and the reimagined covers, I hate to say it, but I like what Corey did with this a little bit better than like the originals, honestly. And I hate saying that because the originals are so good, but if I had to choose between the two to listen to as a metalhead, this is where I'm going. The final release and the second part to me merging the Corey Park stuff and the Graveripper stuff is Cybernetic Nightmare. In our interview with Graveripper, Corey explains how this was inspired by Cyberpunk 2077, which is a game that I personally really love, and they just had that expansion Liberty City coming out a year before my interview with Corey. They were kind enough to sign this one as well, and this is like the only Indiana metal scene vinyl that I have currently, which there will be more. But it's just really good, fast, aggressive thrash with more harsh vocals, which it's just right up my alley. Again, if you guys are a big thrash fan, check out Salivus, check out Graveripper, check out the Faster Than the Devil splits, or they're just to die for. Hopefully you guys like my little ramble. Hopefully you guys like my little ramble on just what I've gathered over the years, and this won't be all of it. I hope to make a part 2 when I have enough more to show you, maybe even double or even triple this amount that I have. And I just like preserving this stuff for the history and to be proud of a state that has such a healthy metal scene. It's something that I think a lot more people would be interested in, just if they knew it existed. And it's cool to see a metal scene thrive, and when a lot of other metal scenes can't even like survive. I'm very grateful for being in a state that allows such awesome creativity for a music genre and subculture that I'm super interested in. And I appreciate you guys for tuning in. There will certainly be more videos on the way. I'm working on another one, like, probably as you're watching this. And I hope to catch you guys next time. Later.